Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Liminal Village. The next discussion panel will be about the role of independent media in our scene. Are independent media initiatives pushing the Psytrance scene forward? How is the transition being made into the 21st century? How do the people behind the publications juggle the idealistic challenge on one hand and the financial reality on the other hand? So please give it up for our media representative from Mushroom Magazine, Psytrance, Psy Media, Chai Shop, Nachtschattenverlag, Roberto, and our moderator for this panel will be Sam from Chai Shop.
1, 2, 1, 2. All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy that you're here, although it's still quite early. But I think we got some interesting subjects ahead. I'm here with something like the creme de la creme of Psytrance media companies and projects. Maybe I start just from there. Roger Ligensdorfer, do I pronounce this right? Right. Okay. Actually, you should all take microphones already, so in some case you can say something. He's from Nachtschattenverlag, which is a Swiss publishing company, and they have published already about 200 books and publications, so that's quite a lot. And he's a dinosaur in our role here. He's working already for 32 years on this subject, and yeah, as you can imagine, it's a lifetime experience of publicating Psytrance or alternative culture-related books and other publications. Okay, then comes Matt from Mushroom Magazine. He's also a dinosaur. He doesn't look like one yet, but then again, he's from Mushroom Magazine from Germany. Mushroom Magazine already also has 22 years of business now. It's a free publication that is spread throughout parties and shops and other distributors, and it ranged in a print run between 30,000 and 60,000 or even more. Yeah, but like in the past, you probably also had 60,000 or so, yeah?
In the past, we had around 70,000, but one time there was a guy named Mark Zuckerberg. He took all of the scene, and now we have around 30,000.
Okay, that's also going to be one of our subjects, Mark Zuckerberg and the trance scene. So that's Matt. And then we have Shaha from the website Psytrance from Israel.
And that's a bit of a history, but more today from Trance Central, which maybe I will explain more about later.
Okay. But anyway, very happy to have you here, and I think you did a great job with Psytrance back in the days. That's the time that I remember best, yeah. And
it's nice that you didn't call me a dinosaur.
Although you look like one. All right. So back in the days, there were basically 3 big web sites, and it was Psytrance, Chai Shop, and GoaTrance.de. Today, the world is reshuffled, but Shaha then did a great job to support the scene with new information and guiding. All right. And then we have Roberto. Roberto is a freelance journalist. So these days, if you read something about Psytrance somewhere, then usually it's written by Roberto under his countless pseudonyms. Yeah, I mean, he's somehow ruling the textual content of the scene in his backyard. Yeah, and the other half of the day he's surfing, and we can hear something about journalistic content and the quality of it and stuff like that from him. And then we have Troy from Psy Media from South Africa, right? Yeah. I had a confusion earlier this day. I thought he was from Israel with another company with the same name, but he is not, so he's from South Africa. And he runs a company which on one hand does parties and on the other hand promote parties, and is active in, mainly in the party scene in South Africa. Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And here we have Mike, who actually took over chayshop.com from me some years ago. And he's bringing it now back, on the track, basically. And Chai Shop itself is a website which should now be, I don't know, 15 years old or so.
20 years.
20 years even, wow.
Next year, 20 years.
And you can talk about a little later about that later on. Maybe you give everybody a small applause again to be here. And maybe the big applause later then, if makes sense. Okay. Oops. Sorry. I hope this still works. I guess it does. Okay, like this? So, first of all, I mean, we are all individual people that had a reason to come into this scene, and that was usually an idealistic reason. However, when we go more deeper into the actual doing, we have many things that we need to fight with. But what I would like to hear of everybody of you now would be, why did you start that project that you were working on or are working on these days? What was your idealistic challenge back in the days and today? Why are you actually doing all this? So maybe we can start with Roger.
Yeah, it's a good question why we do that. I think it's a question we ask them all the time again. But starting for me, myself, it's in the 80s. I was going on to market with books on drugs, on marijuana growing, marijuana cooking, and they busted me. They take the books, they burn the books, they give me 3 weeks prison for that. And that was the reason to start with making more information about drugs. I saw in that time also, I was even in Goa and other places, and there was the party scene starting in that time, and a lot of drugs coming on, but the people didn't have the information about. And I think that was for the reason I started the Nachtschatten, that I want to give the information to the people. I think that the basic that we have good experience with substances. I think it's a important part of our life, of our party life, but also for recreation, for learning by using on the right way, on the shamanic way, on the traditional way, but also on the psychotherapy way, on the party way. That's very important. In that time it was so less information, so that was the reason I started with the books, so that the people know about all these kind of substances. In that time was also not so many kind of drugs coming on the market. It was LSD, mushrooms, hashish, opium, but now we have a lot of a big choice of different drugs, and it's good to know the history about. And I was also doing many years drug checking. That's also another thing which is important to have the knowledge about all this stuff we are taking. So that was the starting of that, and since 32 years since I'm doing the Nachtschatten, it's that what is clear. It's important still.
Nice one. So back in the days when you went to jail, this was not really a freedom of press at that time?
It's not a freedom of press, clear not, but the court of that time, it was like the they give me the power to start that. Without this 3 weeks prison, I didn't make the Nachtschatten, so
yeah.
It was good. And I want to be always independent, and I'm still independent. And I think that's the most important thing, that we're in our thinking, our working, on our business life, we are independent, and that we can do what we want. I think that's the basic, not be independent then from any other things.
Yeah. What keeps you going? What keeps you going? What kind of motivation is there that helps you to keep your business running, to go through difficult times and further on?
I see the feedback from the people that they are thankful for that what we are doing with the Nachtschatten, that there's a lot of fantastic feedbacks. Also now with the new magazine we do with the Lucis Rausch. It's a magazine who comes 2 times in a year out, and we have such great feedbacks that people say it's so important to have a basic information of all this stuff. And I think the media. One of the questions was also if print medias are still important. I think it's still very important to have print medias.
We will get to that later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. So, by the way, for everybody to know, that magazine that Roger is talking about, Lucis Rausch, is like a high-quality, big magazine about probably drugs and the surrounding culture.
Yeah, for meaning thematics. It's the hemp, the party scene, art scene, and enterobotanica.
Yeah, and so that's really a magazine that people buy. Like most magazines I know from the trance scene are free, or people don't want to spend money on that case they do. So that's already, that itself is already an achievement. Okay, so maybe we move over to Matt. Matt, what were your initial ideas to start Mushroom, and what is your mission these days and back in the days?
Okay. I started 1992, not with Mushroom Magazine, but with organizing some techno parties. And 2 years later, I made a techno club, and so I wanted to inform the people about what's happening there, about the artists, because there was no internet, there was no magazine about it. And 1 or 2 years later, I was on the first Psytrance party, a roof experience in Soltau, which is a village I came from. And I thought, why I hadn't met this music before. So I moved completely from techno to Psytrance, and also the magazine moved from techno to Psytrance. And so, so from 1994, I've made Mushroom Magazine now. Now I have the number 190 Mushroom Magazine, and I have only a few ones with me, but you can read it also online, because if you are from far away from Germany, it's not so available in other countries. So if you would like to read it, I have some flyers with me I can spread around with a special internet address where you can go and visit the magazine online. But the initial idea behind was to inform people about the Psytrance scene, because it was no media in the 90s. So I started it, and I was the only magazine. There were other magazines, but not yet anymore.
And not so focused on Psytrance, I guess.
Not so focused on Psytrance, right. And yes, that's the mission, to inform, and there's a lot to inform the people, because when I go around this festival, I see so many topics we can write about in the next editions. There's a lot of inspiration every festival I've met.
Okay, thank you very much. Shahar.
Yes.
How about you? Why did you start Isra Trance? Then you also you run a label also now these days.
I do many things. I started by mistake. I'm a music fanatic, and when I discovered the parties around '89, I started, to look for the music. It was very difficult. By '94, I already had internet, because my father is a computer geek, and so I had internet at home very early. So I started looking on the internet, and I joined mailing lists. People here might remember the old 604 list, the Goa list, and other mailing lists, or IRC channels. I don't know, maybe some people here remember all these old internet stuff. And then at one point, because I'm a music fanatic and I knew all the artists, all the different projects, and people were asking on a mailing list, and I always had answers. And I wrote a bit about music and the CDs I liked. And then this guy said, hey, I have a website called Isra Trance. Maybe you want to check it, maybe you want to help me. So I went into the website. There was a picture of a colorful tree. and, and nothing else. And I told him, look, man, no way. I'm a student. I work 3 jobs. I don't have time for this. Good luck. And the next week, I find myself calling all labels, you know, send music, and and I think it took over my life. And basically, I was very happy for 2 reasons. I got so much from this, and I wanted to give back, and I wanted to spread it. And also, it was important for me as an Israeli because I felt that you know, Psytrance and Goa Trance are so strong in Israel, and for a change, we can you know, broadcast good vibes to the world instead of what usually comes out or portrays out of Israel. So this was also a bonus for me. At one point, it all became very international, and I think something quite special. Again, it wasn't planned. One of the guys said, hey, let's open a forum. And Israel Trance was always and still is a non-profit thing. It's something to give back, as I said. I still pay for the server. I don't know if things are going on in the forum. I think it's still there, and some people are still there. I don't even know. I pay 50 euros for the server every month just to keep the museum there, because I think it's important for this culture. And at one point, at the end of the 90s, when we started the forum, suddenly everybody came in. And I think it's something that never happened in any musical scene, that the whole culture, the people who listen to the music, the musicians, the DJs, the organizers, the festivals, everybody's in one online place. It was still called Israel Trance, but it's very international. You can't change, you know, URLs, so it's still there. And it was a very, very interesting experience. At one point, social media came and killed the old internet. And it pretty much killed Israel Trance, and because our culture from the beginning, because it was blocked in all mainstream avenues, and it was always connected to technology. You know, this music is embracing technology. This is what it's all about, and using it. So I think it done the same with the internet, and it still does. It's still doing the same with the internet, and so I think together with the you know, the coming of Facebook and other social media, and also with the when you run something based on volunteers, at one point or another, it's going to stop working. In the sense that people change. You know, when I was a student, even though I was working 3 jobs and studying, I could still find the time to give. I was supposed to give 2 hours a day. It ended up 6-7 hours a day sometimes, but you know, to this, and there were other people working with us. It was, you know, it was all volunteer based. But slowly I saw that, you know, as my life changed, and you know, I have more work and I have kids and free time in your, you know, you start to count. Then it's not possible anymore. And my experience was also that handing it over to others, it didn't really work. If you do something that you do, you have to do it from your heart, and that's why I think these are the 2 reasons that killed Israel Trance. It's still there, but it's not really active. You know, the forum is, some people are still handling it, but and that brought me to what I do today. Basically, you might have bumped into it. It's called Trance Central. It's called Trance Central first because it's supposed to be a center for this trance culture, and also as a tribute to the great city compilation series. Some people might remember it. And basically here we did a whole new approach. My idea was still to, you know, unite the whole culture in one place, but you cannot do it on one media anymore, because each of us has their own social media favorites. Some of us are on Twitter, some of us are on Facebook, some of us still like websites, some of us do Snapchat, whatever. So the idea was basically, and of course YouTube, so was to go all over and do a cross-platform thing that basically unites and connects people through all platforms. Now, because I cannot volunteer anymore, and I also learned that money is just a form of energy, when you still have to keep the balance. So what we do is we work through YouTube. YouTube is the only big new media mogul that pays people a little for what they do. If you think about it, we all work for Facebook. We create the content for them, and they and if you're a business, they even charge you money to get the content over to people. Independent musicians, if they want you to hear their a track on YouTube, if they just put it on Facebook, you won't see it. So basically, what we do now is we manage YouTube catalogs. We work with the label, with the artists, with everybody, the festivals also, and do all that through all social media. And what keeps me going is this.
Very nice. Okay, Roberto. So yeah, I made a short introduction. You're with the Psytrance scene still, although sometimes you prefer to go surfing. How did you start? What was your journey? Where are you today?
Yeah, how did I end up being a music journalist? I think there's a funny story that actually illustrates very well why I'm here today and how it all started. I think it was 99, Christmas 99, I was at that party, and going back from that party, super stoked, yeah, you know how it is, and I had Mushroom Magazine. I found a Mushroom Magazine, and in that Mushroom Magazine 99, there was a Christmas contest. And that contest was write a concept for like the perfect festival. That was the idea. And I was sitting there like still tripping on this party and like had that idea of that festival where people meet and create together. And I think the basic idea was basically that the sun gives energy to this gathering and people do all these beautiful things, and the same sun is converted by solar panels into music while they produce music together. And so I wrote that up and I sent it in to Mushroom Magazine, and a couple of months later I received a letter that I won the first prize in that contest, which was a CD player, a DJ CD player, back then really expensive gear. And I was always saying I was a music junkie like probably everyone here, and I started DJing, did that for a while. I really loved it, and I still love music. And at some point I think I ran into Sam, and he asked me if I would write up some reviews for Chai Shop back then.
I asked you to be the chief editor, no?
At some point he asked me to be the chief editor for that. Yeah, and I think I'm a very lazy person, honestly. I just go with the flow, and at some point I found myself being less a DJ than a writer and music journalist. And, I guess that's pretty much my story. I ended up, working with a lot of projects, I think. I work with Roger's new magazine, which is really worth checking out. If you speak German, it's a really, really nice magazine, Lucy's Rausch. I still work for Mushroom Magazine. I used to be the chief editor for Chai Shop. And what keeps me going these days, speaking of still writing about Mushroom, like getting that bridge from my first article, probably my first article ever published in the trance scene was in Mushroom. And these days, some of you might know that Roberto asked column I write. And you might notice that it's kind of critical. It's kind of, So what keeps me going is I see a lot of potential in this scene. Still, like, I see Boom has a lot of potential, but I think we really have to take it to the next level. We really have to take, like, active steps. And that's why many people will find me to be a very passionate scene critic. And the reason is that I still love it, that I still think there's a lot of potential. There's just all these beautiful people, beautiful projects. And I think the potential is there, and it's really like that split between just talking about it and really doing it. So that keeps me going.
All right, thank you, Roberto. Troy, what about you? Why did you start? Why are you still with it? What is giving you the motivation, and what are your ideas about it?
Psy Media started in 2010 by a close friend of mine, Dominic Erler, and it was made as a web project that he had in college. Their brief was to start a multimedia blog on something that they were passionate about. It soon grew to an active website that members of the local Cape Town scene were dependent on to plan their summer festival season. And
Kann Kann ich die mitnehmen? Continue, please.
And then, yeah, a few years ago, we were producing a lot of content, reviewing every single local party in Cape Town. We were casting the spotlight on every local release, and then that became a bit repetitive, though. So we seeked new challenges. We started releasing some music for free. We started hosting some special indoor verse set events for good causes. And most importantly, we started traveling. And then documented Psytrance experiences in Switzerland, Turkey, Hungary, Panama, and Mozambique. Sort of gave us the motivation to strive to produce the most unique, the best content we could find. And, you know, receiving countless mails from happy Psytrance enthusiasts eager to go explore the festival you've just reviewed in a country maybe they haven't even considered going to. That's what it's all about, that stimulation of action, getting people maybe out of their comfort zones and into a welcoming festival environment where they can flourish and we can share ideas that can bring about real positive change. That was the mission.
Very nice. Thank you very much. All right, last but not least, Mike, Chai Shop. You took Chai Shop over 2 years ago, and now you have certain ideas about it. You made a relaunch. Maybe some short words about how you got into the scene back in the days and why you started the challenge on Chai Shop.
I'm a child of the 90s, and I went also, similar to Matt, clubbing in Germany. There was Frankfurt, there was Kassel. These were nice clubs like the Omen or Stammheim. And then in 95 came the internet, which was for me always a challenge. And I loved the internet. I was loving building websites, seeing the people get connected. And then followed a long break. And then I went back into the Psytrance scene in 2011, doing my passion, like photography. I photographed a lot of festivals, and then suddenly I found that you want to give up Chai Shop. And I think it was very close. I think in December, you were saying that you want to take it offline, and I said, no, that can't be, because there is a long history from 97 till now, with I think about 2,000 articles, also written by Roberto, and Matt contributed also to Chai Shop. And I said, okay, let's take this challenge and let's try to keep Chai Shop alive, because this is for the people. When you walk through a festival like here and you see the smile of the people, I think this is the best motivation you can get. And what Boom, we are here now at Boom, what Boom made happen in 10 years' time, this is amazing. And therefore,
Absolutely.
I think this is the best motivation for me and for a lot of people behind me. Thank you, Sam.
Oh, yeah, I have one. Okay, so yeah, you have all very individual motivations, and in the end, it's always also connected to communicate, help people communicate with each other. Also, you have chances of influencing that communication, influencing that messages which are brought out to the public. I mean, media has some power, in fact. Of course, you do report about the scene, but then on another hand, you choose what is reported. And with the reports that you do, I mean, you open them to a wide public. There is also an amplification of those messages that you do report on, and on that ideas and idealistics that you do report on. And that's where you take an influence in the scene's development, where you somehow you can guide where the scene is going, where the scene is developing, what subjects should be concentrated on and what subjects should be left out. With opinions about the scene, you can bewerten. Was ist bewerten? You can value what is good and what is bad, sorry. But that also comes with a certain responsibility. when you do these influences, you also have a certain responsibility with the development of the scene. And also, it's not always so easy to do exactly what you think might be right. So, of course, you run a business and you have certain constraints, like financial constraints. You need to get money in to be able to print publications, to be able to run servers, and not at least to also somehow pay your life. That money needs to come from somebody, and that somebody has interests as well. So in the end, you need to juggle those interests of these people that pay, of your own interests, of the interests that you think are the scene. So my question is basically, how do you take that responsibility? How do you work with that? How is it possible for you to keep on? And do you sometimes also need to say, okay, I wanted to do this, but it's not possible, so I do a more simple version of it, or I do something else? How much do you have your advertisers influence your content, for example? So that's a real question that I always ask myself again, also when I was doing Chai Shop, the limited possibilities that you get and how much can you really influence yourself. So maybe we do it a bit more crossover now, not go one by one. We don't have the time for that. So who is interested in giving a first opinion on this question?
I think Matt is a person.
Matt.
Yeah, I started in 1994, and it was a one-man show to make Mushroom Magazine. But then, year by year, it went bigger and bigger, and I needed an idea how to finance it. And there was the first advertisement client who came and wanted to have a back page on the magazine, which was a copy magazine, an 8-page copy magazine, 500 copies. And so I thought, okay, let's go on with this. It needs money to make a magazine which has a print run of 40,000, or it was in the past 70,000 copies each month. And everybody wants to be in, of course. I've got so many mails, hey, I want an interview in the magazine. And what I can say, in the past, I said, okay, it's not possible because we have limited space because it's a printed magazine. And today, I can say, okay, we have now a website, which is a community website, and just go online and you can make your own content. Of course, this is not the premium content we do on top, but everybody can help making content and write own opinions and write own reviews, make photo galleries, everything. And if you want to be in the magazine, it's quite difficult because it's a money thing. We have to pay ourselves. We are a team of like 10 to 15 people who are doing this, and so it needs a form of sponsorship. And who can be a sponsor? Look inside. Festivals like Boom Festival. This year not, but normally yes.
That's a difficult one, huh?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, yeah. But there were festivals like, in Portugal we have Freedom Festival, we have Antares Festival in Germany, we have several festivals around Europe and worldwide who are sponsors and who can make it possible to print it. And when you look inside, you can see we have a map of the festivals which are worldwide. We have reviews, we have previews, we have informations about the festival and other interviews about Psytrance. We have artists inside, lots of other content, but we have not only festivals who pay the content. We need other structures, other ideas to make that possible. And it's an independent magazine, so we need to do it by ourselves. We can't go to big companies saying, hey, we need money from you because we want to print that. And now we have an idea called Mushroom Tour, which is we're asking artists to play at parties, at mushroom parties, and we create events with these artists. We write about these artists, we interview them, we make video interviews, we make social media campaigns with them, we communicate their ideas, we distribute their sounds, and so it's possible to get them amplified, and it's possible for us to make this party because it's a friendship concept. They play for us, and we distribute their ideas about music, about everything. And so this is one of the different ideas we have to make this possible. And who else will
All right, just one more question. So if there is a release review or a party review, and I'm the party organizer, and I put an ad in Mushroom Magazine, do I get the chance to review that content before it's printed?
We have several concepts about promoting the party, and of course, you have reviews, you have previews in the magazine. Of course, we will make that as content in the magazine if you're a promoter of a party or festival, sure.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe I get the question over to Roberto. I mean, you are a writer of this type of content, and now comes a party organizer, and you have written, oh, it's a beautiful content under the sky, and with lots of sun and happy people, and the party organizer says, yeah, but you need to write that we have a acai bar. So what do you think about that?
I think that's something every creative on this planet, every professional creative that is encounters this problem, that you work on something and then the customer knows it better. Hire somebody who's a professional because, well, this person has skills, or the customer believes he has skills, and then you have to change it. In a way, for me, day-to-day writing, that is just being professional. Going on a deeper level, I think that is really like, basically what you said, what's the price of good journalism these days? Where does that money come from? And it's obviously difficult because even like it's all connected. It's a big scene these days, and there's a lot of events and a lot of different things going on. But after all, it's still a small scene, and so if you still want to keep up that, let's say that system of like money inside the scene circulates through media, through events, and like it circulates. If you want to keep that up, you have to keep up the harmony, and unfortunately that is sometimes a great challenge, yes.
Juggling with the interests.
With the interests, and I want to go a bit into another direction. I think Psytrance scene has become, for what we do here at Boom on a day-to-day basis, I sometimes feel like communicating with music labels and artists, and I have to mention that I also work a lot in the techno scene, and I feel like the Psytrance scene is super cool and serious. That's again what I wrote about just a couple of editions ago. Like in Maths, like I talk to techno artists and they just make fun of themselves, and they find it funny to have like just these funny texts and puns and all that. And I experienced the Psytrance scene to be pretty stiff often, and that again, that's a weird thing, because if you look around here, it's not stiff at all. Like this is happening, and it's actually this is how we are. And if we're sitting here or in a chill out, we talk to each other in this way, and then like you talk to party promoters or to labels, and they're just like, oh no, that's much too casual. Yeah, no, you have to. It has to be cooler. Actually, that's a thing I hear a lot, and this is one of the things. Well, I'm still obviously a bit passionate about, and I think we should try to get that twist again. Like we have such a great potential. We can see that out here every single day, and we should try to get that back into everyday life where it started, I believe.
All right, thank you for the comment. So please don't take yourself too serious. Yeah, Psytrance is a great mission, but we can laugh a little bit as well. Anybody else an opinion on this subject?
It's funny because I was thinking this morning about, I was reading what we're doing. So when I woke up, and the question you brought is very important, I think. And look, there is no independent media. I don't know if there ever was, but I think at some point, or at least my generation thought there was independent media. And my wake-up call was actually in 98, the police was really clamping down on Psytrance parties in Israel, and so we did a demonstration. There was a good article on Chai Shop, it's probably still online with the photos, and I'm talking about 40,000 people in a country which had at that time 6 million people. 40,000 people came to the middle of Tel Aviv, full moon, afternoon, full-on party for 6 hours. The word went through the scene, don't bring anything, don't give them a reason to stop it. And that day I felt, the people have power. And the next morning I opened the newspapers and there was nothing about it, nothing. And then I realized that media is not free, and I think it is even more obvious these days because media is free money-wise. Okay, we all get our media for free. We're not willing to pay for it, and the price that we have to pay for that is that someone else has to pay, and this someone is advertisers, and advertisers have their agendas, of course. They pay money, they want to get something. And yeah, it's a very thin line, and you have to define for yourself, some rules, and you have to be, I think, the people have to know what's happening, and what are you promoting, and what are you talking about. But my tests in the end, and because I work with social media now, and it's all through, my test is the responses of the people, because I truly believe that against all what we are taught, people are not dumb, and they know, and it's very easy, and it's true that it's if you're good, you can manipulate people through social media. It's a very dangerous thing that we all should be very, very well aware of. But it's also very clear that when something is real, it goes through. And that's very obvious to anybody who works with social media. The truth is the best seller. If Coca-Cola would come to me and say, what is the best policy that we should use on social media, then I would say stop lying to people. For them, it would, they would have no products anymore. So I hope I'm not going to get sued or something. But so yeah, this is very difficult. Our solution at Trance Central was, and we have the same. We have Trance Central. We also have for the techno scene, techno station, and for downtempo music and for indie electronic. And our solution was basically, as I said, was work with YouTube, which does pay something. Because Google is evil, but it's not stupid. Facebook is evil and stupid, and so we try to work through that. And again, my thought was here. Okay, the problem today with media is if you want to get money from advertising. So yes, there is advertising within the culture. And it exists. Yeah, we will support festivals, but we will also report on festivals that don't get. It will be a different kind of exposure. Okay, for a festival that will work with us, there will be a banner on the website and stuff like that. But there will still be gallery of photographs from every festival that I can find, and that connects to what we do in general. Is we're trying to unite a culture together, and then even though we are small and we started with Psytrance, this is really small. But, for example, how many, maybe I ask you, how many people do you think are interested in psychedelic trance culture in Facebook only? Give me a number. 50.
So tell us a number.
15 million. Okay, there are 15 million people globally. I know because I advertise through Facebook. There are 15 million people globally that has some connection. Maybe the connection is not very strong, okay? That has some connection and showed some interest in things that are related to the psychedelic trance culture. Now, this is a lot of people, okay? And when you talk to Google, Google is not interested in even, let's say the biggest, the artists with the biggest following, social media following, and today in this culture is Asterix, that has like more than 1 million followers on Facebook. But it's nothing for the media. How many people Sia or Rihanna? I'm not even so good with pop culture names. How many followers they have? But when you're talking 15 million people suddenly to Google, then it changes the story because you can actually talk to them and they will listen. Because 15 million people, it's a lot of people. And if we unite also the techno culture, which is bigger, then we can get to a few hundred millions that are interested in electronic dance music, independent electronic dance music, not EDM bullshit, pop stuff. And suddenly this is interesting because this is a profile that people are interested in. And so what we are doing basically is we are trying to unite the culture and make it big enough and tell Google, okay, now bring us better ad, because it's all about ad placements. So if Google say, okay, this is a lot of people and we can sell ads to them, so the ads that you will see on YouTube, on Google Ads, will be better ones and will pay better for the labels and better for everybody else and the artists and everybody else involved. Because you can get from getting 50 cents, it all depends on where in the world, but you can get 50 cents, like let's say in Europe, from 50 cents for 1,000 CPM, okay? 1,000 exposure of an advertising, you can go up to 5 and even 10 euros. This is a totally different story.
Shaha, I guess that gets a little bit too technical. But yeah, generally we have a lot of Psytrance people who are interested in Psytrance, but then it comes back to the question, who is actually bringing in the ads that we want to advertise to the Psytrance scene? And if I look at Mushroom, it's just scene-related businesses like grow shops and party organizers, etc., which on one hand is good because then we don't have that too far away interests like intercepting the scene, but it makes it also more complicated. On Google, so yeah, okay, maybe we can sell a car to the Psytrance people also when they look at the festival. Also, I need to get to the festival somehow, yeah? But maybe switching to Roger. I mean, you have a different concept, which is basically if I get one of your publications, then I pay that the advertisers do not have no interest. Is that true? Or how is your business working?
With books, it's difficult to get advertisings, of course. There are some books like marijuana growing books. It's easy to get Dutch seed banks who want to make advertisings. But other books are maybe some more interesting books about our drug history, culture. It's very difficult to get advertising inside, and there we have to pay all ourselves. It's also difficult. There's so kind of in the book scene that the authors are paying part of the printing costs, but it's always difficult for unknowing people, authors, to pay them their own book. That's difficult, and for famous authors, they didn't want to pay their own book. So I was starting also as one-man show in the beginning, and the first 10, 15 years it was more or less easy to make that, public the books like a hobby. I had other kind of business, I had a bookstore, I make also a festival, I make other things. I was always doing the book publishings like with my heart, I just like
and
to
your
do
money.
it. Huh?
And your money.
Yeah, but I was in that time like a market driver. The money comes into here back and goes out. That I didn't had any. It was flowing. The money is coming and getting out. It was also more easy to bring information to the people. We didn't have the internet. We don't have email. We don't have Facebook. You print a prospect flyer. You get you bring your information, what you do, more easily to the people than today. Today you have to use much more social medias, and you need all kind of levels to bring a message or to sell your own things.
But coming back to the question.
And after a while, I had a problem with money also, and it was when the hemp stores was closing in Switzerland. We had a scene, we had a time where a lot of hemp stores was, and it was a good time. And after them, I was really on the point, could I continue or not? And I was sure there's also money in this scene. There are also rich people who are taking drugs, or for them it's also important to have this kind of information. I'm doing something for the society of the Psytrance scene, of the drug user. So I need the money also from this side, not only from the banks, because you are addicted to the banks when you get the money from them. If they don't want to give you any money, or if they don't if they don't like what you do, then they stop to give money. Then you're finished. So I started to Aktiengesellschaft, how you say, stock company?
Stock market company.
Yeah, that I'm looking for money of the scene, and that was working. And since that time, I'm working independent of banks and any other influence. And I think that's the most important things that we, because everybody who gives money want to have some things back of this money. They want to have an influence of what you're doing. So it's very important that you have the money from different people who are thinking in the same way like you, that they really like to help you, and not that it stays in our scene. And that's very important. And since that time, I'm feel free to that I can publish what I want, and that I don't have to ask anybody. It's really important that we don't have influence of anybody.
Yes, very good, very good. So we learned from this also that there is money in the scene, and there is people that want to support scene projects that they believe are right. And so, for example, when I remember back in the days that I was running Chai Shop, I had the impression that everybody wants to get everything for free. So we are this free culture, and information has to come for free. I don't want to pay for it. Matt, you also tried to put a price on mushroom at some point. It didn't work out. Yeah. So, but with this, we learn that there is possibilities to get money from the people for good content, for good projects. Yeah. And I think this is also what we need to learn. Okay, not everybody in the scene has a lot of money, but there are some people that have money, and we all need somehow to work together to make projects happen that we believe in. That helps us. Okay, maybe on this subject, anybody else that want to say something? Otherwise, I would move over to another question.
Yeah, sure. The profitability of these platforms is always a challenge. For Psy Media, we receive some revenue from doing party promotion, like hosting party banners on our website to increase numbers to the party, doing festival guides or teaser playlists, that sort of thing. But this doesn't bring in a lot of money, so most of the guys involved all have other jobs. So another challenge is then the dedication of time to producing new content and keeping Psy Media active and at the forefront of psychedelic culture.
I would move over to another subject. I mean, we addressed many subjects that I want to talk about already on the side discussions of what we were talking about. And one big thing, of course, is social media coming in. And you already said, especially Shahar and Matt, that this is a new challenge for Psytrance related media to deal with the phenomenon. I had this yesterday, difficult word, of social media, which basically says that, writing content is free to everybody, everybody can read everybody's content, and there are technical tools that somehow try to find out what content is interesting for whom. And also when I was running Chai Shop, this was always a discussion. I mean, I wanted to have user-generated content coming in, so the content is not too limited on the editors, which are there, but is more open to whatever is interesting. But then again, it comes always to the subject of, is it maybe too much content, or is the quality not enough? So this brings me to the question, how much journalistic content do we need, or do we need journalistic content at all? I mean, people being paid for writing something to a big public because they are professionals or so, or because they know something very good, and their article is highlighted among the other ones which are no professional journalists. Is this something which we still need? And if so, how do we integrate social media or user-generated content? Maybe Roberto, you want to say something about that? As a professional journalist, Roberto has studied media science, and so I could call him a professional journalist.
Yeah, I didn't really learn too much in doing that, no.
You basically learned that the study course was useless.
Well, I had a good time. That's the most important part of it. But learning was not so good. The quality, I think today with social media and internet being available to virtually anyone, even if you go to what is referred to third world countries, everyone has a smartphone, everyone has access to the internet. I think selection is a key word these days. Selection of interesting content, because everyone is a producer, everyone is a photographer, everyone is a filmmaker. And in a way, it's just that huge noise of information. And I think it's very important, yes, to have somebody who has the skill, whatever that is, to present interesting content that stands out from just like repetitive things. Also connecting to that, there's a lot of self-promotion going on. I think all of us have experienced that. The moment you open that gate to the public, you crowdsource the thing. There's a lot of people who actually just want to draw attention to their project at any price. And everyone has the right to do that, but often it's just in a very, poorly orchestrated way, and not exactly what many people experience to be like a pleasure of reading, or like a nice to read article.
Many people send in like artist profiles. Hey, I've played at Woof Experience and I'm a super cool DJ, but without thinking too much about what are the people actually interested in.
Yeah, so to answer your question, I think there is definitely need for people who have the skills to navigate through that. The classical word, well actually that's a word that comes from university, is the gatekeepers. That's like a traditional model of journalism, to have that gatekeeper who controls the flow of information. Well, that's a responsibility, of course, a big one that is,
All right. Anybody else on this one?
The gatekeepers are there already. They're called Facebook and Google and
You think
Twitter.
they can
They
do
are the
that better than
gatekeepers,
the journalists?
and their algorithms decide what we see, and they decide that upon their interests, which are making money from advertising, and we all have to be aware of that. And the truth is that I find it very difficult to make really good content justifiable financially. We are a company, we have 16 workers. I need to pay people, they go back every month, and they need to get their money and feed their family. And the bottom line is that to create good content costs. And in the end, what happens is that Facebook doesn't like you at that certain moment for many reasons, and you fall off the algorithm. You don't manage to ride it, and then it disappears, and you made some amazing content, and it's gone. So it's not so simple, and in that way, I want to throw the ball to the other side, because what social media does give you as a person is a lot of power to spread content. And the thing that all social media moguls are interested in is what content you spread. And if you think that it is that if you see something that is interesting and it's deep, and you want to see more of it, then support it. And the power is in your hands to support it. It's by sharing it. It's by writing about it. It's even by playing a good video from Boom Festival that you see. Hey, here's a photographer that really invested, that told a story. Play it, share it. Click the Google ad. You will get something for it from Google. They can afford to support us a little bit. So nobody thinks about that. Again, I think a lot depends on the people, and I try to listen to the people that should be interested in the content that I'm spreading a lot.
Yeah, but what happens on social media?
Can I add something? I really think that it's an interesting question. I've been working in the scene as a writing journalist for a long time, but sometimes I'm wondering, what do people want these days? That's a very interesting one, isn't it? Because like sometimes, some of these days when my brain chemicals turn to the dark side. I feel like people just want that Facebook link and they click like, and it's just like that 30-second video, and okay, cool, and it's just that super superficial content in text. Like being a writer, I feel like, okay, people are super satisfied with a 130 character message on Facebook or even on microblogs or whatever. But that's just one aspect. Then again, I see that people are genuinely interested in good content, and there is proven fact that people still read long articles on the internet, and actually even on screens they read long articles. But still, although I'm very involved in the scene as a writer, I don't really have an idea. Sometimes I feel like I don't really have an idea what is it people want. Is that so clear?
So is it that the algorithms of Facebook and other social media that actually try to find out what content is interesting for what person, is that algorithm better than the role of a chief editor, for example?
We experience that if we post something about the new album of Ritmo, maybe very new, brand new, exciting music, but only 5,000 people are interested in. We have 340,000 followers, so it's a very low number. And if we post a psychedelic GIF, yeah, just to show psychedelic visuals, then maybe 100,000 people are interested. So it's something a gatekeeper, yeah. Facebook has a gatekeeper, and if you like and share the content, then more people are interested in because it's spread and it's more going viral. And maybe some long content, but nice to read content, but maybe some specific content about music is not so interested as we post something about how drugs under the microscope look like. So strange. So what we did is we created an editor where you do not have a blank field to edit your content, because we want that people are editing their own content on our website. And what we did is we made some formulas. If you want to make a country profile to present your country and the psychedelic festivals inside your country, the psychedelic music and artists in your country, then you only need to fill out a form. And the form will convert it to a regular article. This is more nice to read as if you are sitting in front of a white blank field and you need to think about what you are typing. And if we experience that this type of content is good and people like it, and we see the numbers of viewings, then we also spread it at Facebook, and we see that this content is cool, and a lot of people are satisfied to read that. So I think we need to help the people to create good content, and everybody can do it, even he's not a journalist. But if you are a journalist, you have more possibilities, and we also experience that this what Roberto's writing. Roberto asked about. It's about a column about some controversial topics inside the Psytrance scene. Then people also like that to read. But what I also experience is the presentation of content. If you present your content in Facebook like, oh, this is about this and that and that and that, then people don't care about. If you make a Boulevard magazine headline about it to make it bigger and bigger, and then people are more interested in, because it's easy to understand, and they wanted to share because it's had some special power or something.
All right.
I can't explain, but you know what I mean.
Yep. So basically what we're experiencing is that this social media aspect is still a pretty experimental field, and we don't have found the right solution yet, but we are trying different ways how to handle with it. What I would like to hear from you, like as a closing of our round, is your opinion. What is the challenge for the next 10 years for Psytrance Media and for you personally? Just a short sentence or maybe 2 catchwords. We cannot stick to this long, but I would just like to go through everybody having a thought about this. Can we start with you, Roger?
I think one of the vision also is to have more quality in our books in our medias. I think that include both professional journalism, but also experience from experimental articles from people. I think it comes together. But I think one of the most important things is that we get more in resonance together and not in concurrence all the time. I think this, of course, we are into that business world also with our medias and everything, but we are not have to do the same kind of concurrence.
Competition, basically.
Yeah.
Competition with other companies.
Yeah. And more working together. Like,
Yeah.
I think we have to connect us more.
Yeah.
And to
Less
help
capitalistic approach, more togetherness.
and to help in our own scene to each other. And I think that's much more important in the future.
Very
that
good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Matt.
Yeah, I'm something like a web geek sometimes, and the working together thing is very important. And now, at this moment, Facebook covers us all. So what we need to achieve is to have something like Verbindung.
Connection.
Connection. Connection. Connection between all the other media. And it's possible for all the geeks of you. The WordPress system has an API, which means it's a connection to other websites. And in the future, this system will be more powerful. And websites, Psytrance websites, and all the others who would like to be connected could connect between and display topics from other websites on the other, and so it's not a good thing to make our own
community.
Community. It's not good to make our own community because Facebook covers us all, and if we do it by ourselves, it will not powerful enough. So we need Connect before we do that. And maybe there is a technology in the future who can help us with that. And I'm looking very much forward to that.
All right. So that's the social media or the publication media just for the trance scene. Shahar, some words. Please keep it short.
I'm not a big, I don't like to be asked about the future because I like to be surprised.
All right.
So, but I think, I think that this culture really embraces, as I said, technology and flows with it pretty naturally. And I think we should just do that and keep an open mind and be very aware of how we do things. And yes, as I said, I really truly believe in uniting, and I think that autonomous culture that shares certain values should all work together. This empowers all of us and also helps us spread our ideas and our ideals. So yeah, that's my look at the future.
All right, thank you. Roberto, a couple of words.
Greatest challenge for Psytrance media is to help make this change which we experience at festivals like Boom Festival and other festivals around the world, to make it really happen and to take it like beyond just like festival ends and that vision in a way ends just talking about it. I think Psytrance media, the greatest challenge is to help to really get people into that mindset and keep people into that mindset that we have to do certain changes, about which you can find out plenty here on this festival.
All right. Convey the consciousness lift that is happening through festivals. Troy.
I think our mission in the next 10 years is to focus on the positives in the scene. I think being selective about content can really give our readers hope and inspire them to be more involved in the development of the Psytrance culture. I think dwelling on negatives like productions that are only in it for monetary incentives, I don't think that does much for anyone going forward. So I think focusing on areas of the scene that display growth, vision, and longevity is what we should focus on, the sort of role model festivals, if you will.
All right. Amplify the positive sides. Thank you very much. And Mike.
Yeah, I think we should more communicative. We should more deliver high quality content and togetherness. This is, I think, the main aspect. We should try to upgrade in the next 10 years and together with the social media. Social media is not everything. We have all websites here and I think we should, be together. This is the most important thing for you. That's it.
Thank you very much, Mike. I have. Yeah, so this togetherness factor obviously is very important for many of us, and I think it's a great thought to finish this official part of the talk. I think we have the possibility to enable a couple of, like 2 or more.
Hi there. I'm also a writer about Psytrance culture, but kind of a slightly different one. I'm an academic, and I'm not sure how many people actually read what I write, but I wanted to ask you, I noticed that there are no women on the panel, and I wondered, what is your impression of Psytrance journalism and media in general? Do you think it's run mostly by men, or are there also lots of other genders involved?
Mm-hmm. Who wants to answer on this one? It's just men. No women involved in your companies?
That's a very important question. It's really difficult to find a woman as author. I'm very, very happy for every woman who writing a book and coming to the Nachtchat and bring this project, but it's very, very difficult, and it's really also on most panels and congresses, and so it's women are really less, and I hope there are more women are giving the power into the scene, to writing books, to writing articles, to bring into the to make power into that. I think it's very important.
Maybe only men are childish enough to think that they can for years go on and write about this these hippie parties. I don't know.
I think in Mushroom it's more woman-dominated at the moment, and the most parts of the last Mushroom editions were written mostly by women. So because Roberto was so involved with this Boom festival editorial thing, I think like 60 or 70% were written by women. Mushroom magazine at the last editions.
All right.
Half of our team.
Why we should
even
speak
more.
about that? It's totally okay. Women and men can both write, so we don't need to discuss it.
But you women definitely try to get more involved. Otherwise, it's again man-dominated.
Well, I'm a woman and I'm a journalist, and hopefully I can help you in some way. But my question is. I got inside of this universe through the art, not exactly the music. Actually, I'm really amateur about the music and kind of shy to say that sometimes, because if I see the lineup, I couldn't say anything. Like, I don't know anyone yet. But I really appreciate all the art we can see around. About like all the decoration, all the like hip guys selling on the floor, or even the stores. If you think about the fashion side of that, there is a lot of personality. It's something so exclusive that you just find out once you are here. And I look out of this, all the people around my world, and I say like, they have no idea what is that, So. Do you think that your media exposed this side enough? How could we help that?
Who wants to answer that one?
I can. Yes, I think we should expose it more. Actually, after your question, I will expose it more. But it's there. It's definitely there. I think we expose art because people are interested in art, and we expose psychedelic art because people respond to it. And yes, I think that, and we expose the deco that is being done, and people respond to it because it is amazing. But yeah, I agree. There's a lot of creative spirit going on in this culture and this festival. Some things, just walk around or go to the gallery. It's it's unbelievable. Just look at the structures. Some of the festivals. I don't know if any of you have seen, like, for example, photos from Modem Festival this year. If you haven't, then you should just look for them. It looks totally alien. I've never seen. I don't know who even managed to. At many points in this culture, I think I'm surrounded by aliens because the creative is just unbelievable. So yeah, I think it should be exposed more, and I will do it.
So maybe the art aspect is more female, and the artist review aspect is more male, and so maybe the chiefs in power should consider that more. All right, I think we have one more question, do we? One more question is possible. Anybody, another question?
Hi, I'm Matthias from Ost-West Film in Berlin. We just did the first narrative movie in the Psytrance culture, and yeah, we basically did it all ourselves. So my question now is, I would wish that there are more possibilities to connect professionally. And okay, if you write, maybe you only need a typewriter or a computer and a photo machine. But we, for example, it was a small team, but we had like, in the end, let's say 20 people involved in the center part of doing it, and hundreds helping us, not at least the Boom Festival, so thanks for that again. My question now is, we as video makers, for example, we would profit of connecting to other people involved in video, and video is much more complex than maybe writing. So we, for example, we searched a 3DFX artist or an After Effects artist, or we could have used sound people involved in the scene. We didn't have, so we found another one. He was really great, but we would. On the other hand, we also have some things we can do. We can produce videos, but we are at the moment connect only in our own sphere. So are there maybe also technical possibilities to connect people better to achieve even more sophisticating results? That's my question. Thanks.
Who wants to answer this question? Your question is mainly on video or generally?
What you're saying is like a LinkedIn version for the Psytrance scene, is that right? Is that like a LinkedIn version for the Psytrance scene, like where professionals can connect? Oh, it's a good one. I've never thought about that.
It already exists. Goatrance.de is like a social media for Psytrance. But yeah, I mean, regarding video, it's actually missing, especially for the Psytrance scene, I think. Yeah.
No, it's not. I'm a video man.
Oh, he is doing it.
We run channels with more than 400,000 subscribers on YouTube that are based on this, this culture. It's not missing. It's there. But as for ways to communicate, first I will recommend coming to festivals.
The old way.
There is a very nice system that if you work within the scene, then it's good for you to be in a festival. It took time to persuade my wife that it is important, but in the end she agreed. But seriously, if techno people go to ADE, to connect for a conference, then the trance people come to Ozora and Boom, and and the Antares and the festival. This is where everything happened, and you should just talk to people. This is a good place, and also reach out to people. Just present yourself and make the connections. This is my experience, and you don't need a LinkedIn for that. It doesn't work anyway. Just talk to people. You'd be amazed. There's so many great people, and if you talk to people and connect, most people, from my experience in this culture, really love to cooperate and help each other. So just do it.
All right. I think you are looking for a professional network to be on other medias except the Psytrance media, I don't know. But we started Mushroom TV just 2 months ago, and if you would like, we can cooperate. Let's talk.
We Germans, we need to go to Portugal to connect. All right. No more opinions on this. Then I would like to close this panel. I thank you so much, everybody, to come here and listen and share a little bit of the world of us Psytrance media guys. And I thank you, participants, so much for coming. It has been a pleasure with you. And yeah, rock on and develop the scene further with all your heart.